What is the best way to value SaaS, software, and AI companies? There are three main approaches. While there are different approaches, there really is three most commonly used approaches. Other approaches are used for different reasons, and we'll get into that later down the road when it becomes relevant to us. Those three approaches are, the first one is the asset method. The second one is the market multiple. This is probably the second most popular approach. And the third one is the most popular, the king of all valuation, is the discounted cash flow approach, which normally known as DCF. Since our focus is more SaaS, software, AI companies, the one we would want to use is the DCF valuation method. But before I get into you why we would want to use that, let me explain to you why we would not want to use the others. But there's caution here because sometimes it is valuable and it is needed to use the market approach. But we'll get into that. The first approach we do not want to use is called the asset method. The reason why we don't want to use that is because it's made for heavy asset companies like real estate, manufacturers, heavy retail methods. And let's explain it in this way. Let's say, for instance, you own a real estate property, right? You're a real estate investor. The worth of that property is worth $500,000. 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, but the max you can charge for that is $2,000 a month. That's not a lot of money on a yearly basis. So what you would want to do is you would want to do the asset method because you're going to value the assets. So that $500,000 is going to be way worth more than $12,000 or $14,000 a year. So that's why you would want to use the asset method for those type of businesses. The next approach is the market multiple approach. This is the most popular approach to any other of the approaches. And it usually accompanies other approaches because it's just so popular. The market multiple approach has its drawbacks for many reasons, but we'll go into the top reasons now. First, is usually used for trading publicly traded stocks because the multiples are very transparent. They're there, you can verify them. A lot of times we're dealing with private companies like SaaS, software, AI companies using the middle markets. Those informations are not usually public. And a lot of time, people do not know how to calculate this method for various reasons. For instance, if you're comparing Apple to like a small local provider making, let's say, a good decent amount, 25 million in revenue per year, but Apple's making billions of dollars for revenue. They might pay in the same market, but you can't compare Apple to the small local provider, although they may be in the same industry. See what it makes sense? The last credible approach is the DCF. This is the king of all approaches. You should use this approach no matter what approach you use. What I mean is you should always accompany this approach with no matter any of the approaches that you're going to use. But in our case, it fits our business model and it's a lot. So with that being said, we're going to stick with the DCF approach going forward. There will be other mentions of other approaches when it's necessary, whether it's a public company or direct method multiple approach, but in this situation, it's our best fit. The discounted cash flow approach uses what investors like to say, how much I'm willing to buy your company now based off the future cash flows. I'm gonna give you an example. So we're in 2025 now. You bring an investor in or you bring a buyer in and they're saying that, hey, I wanted to pay money to buy your company or invest in your company. They're gonna use a discounted cash flow method and look out 5 years in advance, which is gonna be, let's say 2030. They're gonna bring all those cash flows to today using a discount rate. That discount rate is going to be used to calculate that portion of how much your company is worth. And then it's going to tell them how much is my company worth today. And that's why investors like it, because it tells them how much your company is worth based off your cash flows, not even adding net debt or anything, just how much your company is worth now. And they can compare that discount rate to other financial instruments to see how much they're going to get back. If you have some questions about some of the stuff that I mentioned in this video, just post your comments below and I will promise you I will answer those questions. But for now, DCF is the best approach for SaaS, AI, and software companies. A lot of other companies, but this is the industry where we're focusing on and the founders that we speak to. Have a great day and look forward to talking to you soon. Bye-bye.